Hey y'all, I am Burn Beauty 2018. My name is Tonya Meisenbach, and I am so excited to be here tonight. I'm trying to vlog every day about my journey as a domestic violence burn survivor who is now getting plastic surgery in Beverly Hills through a charity called Face Forward International. I am so blessed, and I believe that God is good all the time, even when bad things happen. But at least I got away from that person who was going to steal the joy from my whole life, or at least he tried to all the time. So I'm grateful to be here. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you would click the button and do so, because I have something to share with y'all. Something came today. Me. I, Tonya Meisenbach, have 100,000 subscriber play button from YouTube. And if I can do this, anybody can do this. I didn't know anything about social media. I just knew that I wanted to do makeup and I wanted to post my feelings every day. And that's how the journey started. And now it has ended with me finding a home on YouTube that is lucrative and has a great audience. And I just love it. I'm still learning to make videos. I'm still learning to edit. But hey, I don't feel like I'm doing bad for a 51-year-old 6-year burn survivor. I love everything about that play button. And I love the letter. I'm sure you've seen it. I actually ordered the metal letter also. And the other play button, I splurged and treated myself on them because they mean so much to me. I've been working on other platforms and you don't get recognition like this. And I know it's just, it's an award that came in the mail, but that is something. Encouragement and support matters. And that's what I want to talk to you about tonight. Encouragement and support. I was thinking a lot about the red flags that I encountered over the years living with what I believe to be a sociopathic narcissist. I add the sociopath part because he was a sex offender, and then he set me on fire 30 years later, I guess. And God knows what he did in between, but I can't let my head think about that because, we were together 20 years, and that he would turn off his phone and disappear all the time. So, if the police were to ask, I could not give him an alibi because he disappeared several times a week. Now, mostly that was, red flag. Why are you disappearing? Turn off your phone. It's just cruel. And I would think, oh, well, it's because he has a drinking problem. Turns out he had a major drug problem. I know the moment he started doing meth, because the narcissist telling themselves, and he said something weird to me once about guys at the office are on meth, and what he was really telling me is I'm doing meth now, and that was 2014. But I never knew. I never saw him do drugs in front of me. I never knew he was doing heroin and taking pills. I did see him buy pills, and I would flush them, and then he would get mad at me for getting mad at him. He's just such a bozo, y'all. I mean, when you look back on it, how dare someone judge your reaction to the bad things they do? And he always would. He literally thought I was the problem because he never ever had any responsibility. His mother never gave him that. And that's the way it happens. A male narcissist mother is always a narcissist. So, those were huge red flags. Obviously, those are big ones. But the more covert red flags were like always, I'll never forget when I wanted to be a personal trainer and I was studying very hard at Kennesaw State University to get my personal trainer certification. And he would call me. I was a paralegal also, and then I was at work, and he'd call me and be like, well, you going to personal trainer class, maybe I'll be a lifeguard. Like saying it's a kid job or it's not serious. It's just belittling it. But, really, he spent 8 years trying to get a bachelor's degree from Florida State, or University of Florida. He went to both. Got kicked out of one and went to the other. And, from the time he graduated at 28 years old or something crazy, he never did another thing. I'm 51 years old now, and he would be 50, I guess. And he's never done another thing. We had a tree removal company, and I repeatedly bought the course to become an arborist because that's important. He never did it. He never could. He'd push it off. Oh, one of the sales guys needs to do this, because he was literally out at the bar all day, every day, out at the strip club, paying, not even, these are not strippers, these are hookers, just to be clear. And in the VIP room, there were some, like that kind of club. The nastier, the better. The more he could work on his perversion. He's a peeping Tom. I mean, it's a lot. But let me try to stay on track about how they belittle you, and you're working hard and you're changing your life. The personal trainer thing is like, haha. And then I went on to do several things. I love getting certifications or learning and things like that. But he set me on fire at 45. You can refer to another video about that. I'll try to link that up if you're new. And God, thinking about that gives me flashback. I have terrible PTSD from it. Now that I can remember it all, and I can remember him running after me and squirting more lighter fluid on me and then throwing the lighter. I mean, just a disgusting human being. I mean, who does that, right? I mean, who does that? So even after I was burned, after a couple of years, I started, I was in therapy because I would never not be after something like that. And I'd been in therapy for years just because of all the nonsense and, BS, ridiculous problems and chaos that he caused. So I was in therapy, and then I got a life coach because, therapy is for when you're feeling not so good, but a life coach is for when you're getting to be at a better place and you want to grow, you want to achieve goals. And so I worked with the life coach, and then it was so amazing that I decided to study to get my certification because I was talking to so many people on social media that would send me messages, and I just wanted to make sure that I left people better than I found them. So I went for that certification, and I don't know how long it took, a few months. It's not a big deal. But he, basically after graduation, sat outside all night like an idiot, looking up how life coaching is a scam. And it's like, why would you even need to do that? I got burned. A couple years later, I got a life coaching certification. And the problem is, he knows he could never do anything like that because he took 8 years to get a degree and hasn't done a single thing since. So you've really got to look at that, those red flags. After that, I did a podcast. He would unplug the router downstairs, so I had to get my own internet in my glam room. I didn't know for sure that he was, but after I got that internet, the problem stopped because he would be downstairs and the router was right in the corner from him, so he would break it, mess it up. Because I was doing something, documentaries that I made, he would try to mess them up. Other opportunities, I got to be on TV, he tried to mess that up in the interview phase by being rude to the casting directors. And I went on to get a peer supporter certification from the Phoenix Society. He didn't say much about that because, that's the society for burn survivors. But then I got a certification to teach the chronic disease self-management program through Massachusetts General and Boston Harvard. And I was pretty proud of that. That was last year, and I've taught the class a couple of times. But just every time he would say something like, oh, that's no big deal. But, they don't grow. And when you do grow, whether it's getting certifications, whether it's getting a degree or a diploma, whether it's just getting in shape, working out, they always belittle you because they can't do it. And that's what they hate about you. And that's why it's so important not to ignore that envy, because it is insidious. It can turn into what happened to me, where it got, physical. And the next thing you know, I'm on fire when I hadn't been like a battered wife. I had been an emotionally abused wife. And then, to top it all off, he's such a narcissist that he's got friends that I'm sure defend him. And I don't know how in the world his family could justify. I mean, they know me, they've met me, and they know him and what a liar he is about everything. If he's talking, he's lying. He's got burner phones in the garage, like 3 or 4 flip phones, like a junkie. I mean, he's going to hotels. I see a name of literal crack whore. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but I don't know any other way to express what I'm feeling right now, where you've been so faithful to someone and they continuously break you down. Those comments are not harmless. They are really, really harmful. No matter how strong you are, you just keep hearing it, you get tired of it. No matter how strong you are, every time they do something, wrong, which is going to be really seriously wrong, it's about how crazy you are. You're walking around screaming, going like a bit. Yeah, you're walking around screaming because you say to them that's, a problem, and you're angry about it, and they say nobody else has a problem with it. Why do you have a problem with it? What's wrong with you? You're crazy. And it keeps going until you're like screaming like a banshee. And I just hope that everyone knows his friends, he doesn't really actually have friends. He has one that he's had for many years who's probably running the company right now. He does like workers' comp fraud. There's a lot going on. He hasn't filed taxes since 2012 for the business, his business. Everything he does is crooked. Everything he does is just busted. Everything he does is sleazy. He's just, I feel like there are people who can't do things the right way. It's just not within them. They're just dishonest, and they're lazy. Just to put it, they really are, because they don't want to do the work, and they want to insult you. So if you have somebody like that in your life, it cannot be ignored. I know if somebody's pushing your buttons, if somebody's belittling you, if somebody's treating your reaction as the problem instead of their action, you have to get out, because they can't change. It is the only disorder I know that there's not a single pill for. They're bad. A sociopath. I mean, well, there's two: sociopathy and psychopathy. It's just a sociopath. It'll never change. It'll never get better. And even if they're not being physically harmful to you today, just know that Mine, it started the year before where he's ramming my car with his and, lying about that, but I still have the video of it from the surveillance camera. Things like that. It started with that a year before, and then, in the next year, I'm fighting for my life. And you know what? He couldn't even do that right because I'm too strong. I know a lot of people who have survived this, which is sad, but have survived acid attacks and being set on fire, usually by men, in their life. It's ridiculous. And the fact that a white American male would do that can only be attributed to the fact that he had mommy issues and mommy had set a house on fire when she was going through the divorce from his father. And he always talked about things like from high school. He always talked about a job he had, like at Radio Shack. It's like, what are you talking about? How everybody got fired because it wasn't his fault. It was everybody's fault, which now I know he stole money from Radio Shack and everybody got fired because of him. That's what he said. If you want to interpret it, he talked about it over and over again. Because why are you talking about a job from when you're 18 and how good you were at selling and you're like in your 40s? Move on, baby. I mean, that's great. It's an accomplishment, but what's going on right now? How are you growing now? And, that's another big tell. If you have somebody who feels like another child to you, they don't grow, they don't develop, they don't have ambitions. They're just chaos. His only ambition was to get up every day and go drink, hit the strip club, and act like he's like a big man, And he's just the smallest person I know. So I guess I'm a little testy today, but only because I am pushing for indictment. Of course, I would never not push for it. And if he's ever met me a day in my life, he knows that I will not rest. Hell has no fury. So I hope y'all hang in there because I've seen a lot of comments about that. And yeah, hell has no fury. And he knows it. I'm smiling and I have a soft voice now, but I didn't have that soft voice for many years. I was just screaming like a banshee most of the time. And that's not good, but I want you to know that kindness is not weakness. I'm just happy now, but I'm still the same inside, and I will not rest because he will kill the next person or he will keep bothering me. He only stopped violating we had a stay away agreement that was a civil one, not like a TPO. He only stopped violating that. The last time he messaged me was in October, like he zelled the alimony and put a note in it, like he'll take care of me forever. You didn't take care of me from the beginning. I was your mother, and now you don't know what to do. Don't believe them. They do not love you. They just need you because they don't know how to survive. So there's some red flags. And I'm going to go back. I ordered the medal congratulations letter also. And I ordered that. This letter is so awesome. I ordered the medal letter and like something that costs like $200, like just to play, but I don't even know what you call it. I just want it because I worked really hard, and this feels like the most accolades I've received, and I'm on every platform. And it's not that I particularly need accolades, but when they come, they're fun. It does feel good. It is encouraging, and I want to encourage you if you're on YouTube. In my first month, I don't like to throw around numbers, but I made in the triple digits, and in my second month, I made in the mid 4 digits. You can do this. And I'm not even going to edit this video because this is my vlog. And I'm just going to add an outro and acknowledge my members that I love so much and go. Make good content. Make good choices in life. And choose to put yourself first. And it's not going to be that easy because there's the trauma bond. But if people, the one thing you can do to stay safe from a narcissist is don't keep secrets. Don't keep secrets. And by that I mean, if they do something terrible, go to your friend and tell them, because I never would, because it's so embarrassing. It's like, why would I stay? And you don't want to hear like, well, why are you staying with them? Why? It doesn't matter. If you hear that, if your friend or family loves you and you still choose to stay with them, that's okay. But at least they know what you're dealing with in case something bad happens, because my family didn't know all the history or they would have been going crazy when this happened. You know, there wouldn't have been any missing memory for me in all these years in danger with this sociopath, this lying, cheating, drinking, drugging sociopath in the house. That is so bad, you know? And I don't know how I survived, but I do know that a big part of it is when I started doing social media, and every day I could express myself, and I think that kept me sane, and it helped me gain the strength that I needed for when I needed to face this obstacle and walk away. And now I'm super grateful for YouTube, because what I'm earning here is what is keeping me afloat and keeping me independent. So everything works out exactly as it should. Whatever is going on for you right now, you are in exactly the right place in the universe. Period. So sorry to go on so long. I just love y'all. Oh yeah, the tissue expander. It is so painful. Look how hard it is. I got 10 more milliliters today, and then I'll get 10 more on Wednesday. The good news is this skin graft is really stretching well. It only hurts really bad for a couple of days, and then, it's okay. But this skin is going to be a beautiful nose, and I'm grateful for that, because I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be in the universe. I love y'all, and thank you to all my members. Thank you for the super thanks, guys. Thank you for subbing. If you haven't already, please click that button and know that I love y'all, and whatever you're going through, this too shall pass. See you tomorrow.